Greetings, Geographer Joseph Kursky here. I'm from Mesa County, Colorado, and not only is Mesa County a wonderful place to live and to be, look at these landscapes. You got the Book Cliffs there to the north of the Grand Valley. You've got the Grand Mesa off to the east, the largest, highest mesa in the world. You've got the Colorado National Monument. You've got the Manco Shale. But also Mesa County has the most logical road system and road numbering system in, I think, the entire world. Some people are mystified by these numbers. H and 3/4 road? I mean, it's not quite good enough to be I. It has to be H and 3/4. Let's explain why these numbers are the way they are. First, ever so briefly, we need to talk about the Public Land Survey System, which covers about 3/4 of the USA. These roads are along section lines, by and large, straight, like this one in Mesa County, north, south, east, west roads. You do have things like the Grand Valley canals, and because these canals are critical for irrigation in this semi-arid environment, they follow contour lines because of the way water flows. But by and large, these section line roads run north, south, east, west. Now, the Public Land Survey System started in eastern Ohio and spread west with some exceptions, Texas and the Spanish land grants, but Mesa County is actually covered by 3 different public land survey systems. The Ute Principal Meridian and Baseline is a very small, I believe it's one of the smallest, if not the smallest, area covered by a baseline and meridian. It maybe is about 8 or 9 square miles, the Ute Principal Meridian and Baseline. The other parts of Mesa County are covered by the New Mexico Principal Meridian and Baseline and the 6th Principal Meridian and Baseline, which actually starts in eastern Kansas and Nebraska. The point is that many of these roads run east-west and north-south, and they're spaced 1 mile apart for the section lines. And then you've got a half mile, 3/4 of a mile, etc., that most counties grapple with by naming their roads 350th Street or 247th Avenue or Elm Grove Road or something like that. That may be interesting, but in Mesa County, it is much more interesting. Now, this system doesn't cover the entire county, but most of the settled area, the agricultural and urban area, is covered by this system. Picture an east-west road in the southern part of the developed part of the county, and let's call it A Road. 1 mile north of that is B Road. 1 mile north of that is C Road, running east-west each time. D, E, F, G, H, as you see here. Well, Joseph, what about the 3/4? Well, half mile between A and B is A and a half road. 3/4 of a mile between G and H is G and 3/4 road. 3/4 of a mile between H and I is H and 3/4 road. It makes totally logical sense. And you even have some 7/8 and 1/4 and there's a few 1/3 and 2/3, but not too many. Most of them are 7/8, 1/8, 1/2, 3/4, 1/4, etc. I love it. Now, starting at the Colorado-Utah border, which is another reason why, as a geographer, I love this system, are the north-south roads running east from Colorado-Utah, because that's the western edge of Mesa County. There's not really anybody that lives out there except for some prairie dogs and some snakes and some hawks. But by the time you get to the settled part, maybe you're at 8, 9, 10 road. Well, half mile east of 10 road is 10 and a half road. When you're getting out to this part of the county that I'm in right now, you've got 26, 26 and a half, 27. 27 road is a north-south road, 27 miles east of the Utah-Colorado border. What's not to love about that? So again, you've got 26 and a half, 26 and 3/4, 26 and 7/8, and then you get up to 27 road. The county has other names of roads, Hillcrest, Maple, and all that kind of stuff. They have those kind of roads too, but the named east-west and north-south roads follow this system. So here's a quiz for you. If I'm on H and 3/4 road and 26 and a half, and I walk due west along H and 3/4, what intersection am I going to meet a half mile west of this intersection right here? 26 and a half and H and 3/4. Hey, you got it. It's still H and 3/4 because I've walked due west, but now I'm on 26. And now if I walk 3/4 of the mile south, where will I be? Hey, you got that right too. Now I'm at H and 26 because I've walked 3/4 of a mile due south along 26 Road. Now notice that it's not Road H and Road 26. It's H and 26 Road. The road follows the number or the letter. So if you want to fit in with the locals, you will call it H Road, B Road, B.5 Road, rather than Road B.5, etc. And even the addresses follow this wonderful geographical system. For example, if you're at 2657 E Road, let's say, you know that you're about halfway between 26 and 27 Road on E Road, because 2657 is about halfway between. 2698 E Road would be really close to 27 Road and E Road. Isn't that logical and wonderful? Just like most counties, the incorporated places inside Mesa County, Clifton, Palisade, Fruita, Grand Junction, etc., have their own city addressing system, their own city street names, and their own origin point for where those addresses start. So Grand Junction, for example, has North Avenue, Belford, Teller, Hill, Gunnison streets, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th Street, etc. It's slightly confusing, but it's also cool and geographical that if you're traveling, for example, east on, for example, F Road, and you're at 13th, 14th, 15th Street, you're in the city system, but then you get out of the city system, and then all of a sudden you're at 26.5 Road, 26 3/4 Road, etc. So you got to think about how cities nest inside counties and how they deal with addresses and street names. It's all managed by geographic information systems. It always comes back to GIS. The E911 emergency response system, the city, the county, they all cooperate and network and interface with geographic information systems. That's what helps run that whole system of addresses, response to emergencies, new streets, how new houses are going to be addressed, what new streets are going to be named and how they get their names, etc. That's all managed by geographic information systems. Yes, folks, it all comes back to geography. Yay! Thanks for being with me.